I say to the women's rights organizations, to the human rights organizations, you've heard of the rape of Israeli women? Horrible atrocities, sexual mutilation? Where the hell are you? I expect all civilized leaders, governments, nations to speak up against this atrocity.
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. War is awful, which is why people of good conscience try so hard to avoid it. When war does come, we try to limit civilian casualties. We try to protect women and children and non-combatants. There are rules among developed nations on how to treat prisoners. But a group that kills young people at a music festival, targets women and children, delights in killing parents in front of their children, and killing children in front of their parents, doesn't care about rules. Hamas is using rape and sexual assault as a weapon of war. There have been accounts of murder and rape and the mutilation of Jewish women from October 7th onward, and yet some have been very slow to criticize Hamas. Some like to compare the rape of women with occupying disputed land, as if trespass and sexual assault could even be compared. Earlier this week, the UN finally discussed the sexual violence committed by Hamas. Moran Zer-Katzenstein is a women's rights activist and founder of what translates into Women Building an Alternative, and she joins us now. Welcome to Rape as a Weapon of War. It is literally unconscionable to people who have a conscience, but it happened. And it took far too long to be acknowledged and condemned. I mean, the evidence was there from the initial crime scene. So why were some so slow to condemn it?
I think it's a disgrace. One thing that we should all know that women's bodies is being used as weapon during war, but the only conflict area in the world that it didn't happen until October 7th was Israel. In Israel, those atrocities didn't happen. And this is the reason why we all need to draw a red line and say this is not even part of a political issue. You can't allow women's bodies to be used as weapon. And this is our expectations for women organizations and human organizations. And they failed in this area.
So Hamas cuts off people's heads, they delight in creating orphans, and yet now Hamas contends it would never use rape as an instrument of war, but they won't release all the female hostages, perhaps because of the stories these female hostages would tell if they were released. Is that possible, that they're withholding female hostages because they don't want to be further criticized for this?
It's even more horrifying than this. The events of October 7th didn't end at October 7th. We have reason to believe, and I think the U.S. government has also mentioned it, that the audacities, the rape, may be also still happening. And the reason they don't want to release those women is because they don't want them to speak up about what happened to them. And I have to say, the U.S. government stand by our side from the first day, and it was amazing. But the UN women organizations and other organizations have one mission: to make sure those women are released. We don't need their condemnations. We need them to do everything in their power to get those women out. You know, when Boko Haram happened with the groups of women, all of us stand together in the effort to free those girls. Now we are saying, free those girls, free those girls from Hamas. We know what they did, and now not only they raped, they're also going to keep them and maybe not bring them alive. We can't allow that. I can't believe that I'm even saying that. Bring those girls alive back to Israel, to their homes.
There is a staggering amount of what we call both-sidism going on. Even some American politicians seem to want to say, yeah, Hamas raped Israeli women, but.
This week we published an open letter on the New York Times, and it addresses to all women, and that's exactly what it says. It says all of us women need to speak up. It doesn't matter who you're siding, because that's not a matter of sides. Women's bodies can't be used against women or as a part of war. And we all need to draw this line. If we don't do that, it means that when someone else will be in a conflict area, it will become a norm, and we can't allow that. Thank you so much.
And thank you. I know that you will continue to speak out. You've done it your entire career, so keep doing it, and God bless you in your work. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night on such an awful, awful topic.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.